This new projector is very similar to the Mecool KP2, but perhaps it will be just as powerful as him. Digital greetings, for all. I'm Javier Guerrero and today I'm going to review the new TouYinger brand projector, the H6 Pro. Be careful because there is also the H6 that has more limited specifications. But, this is the H6 Pro, and if you are leaving your like and we reach 1000, we are going to raffle one of these. TouYinger is a very popular projector brand on AliExpress, and now it brings us the evolution of its H6, which, as you already saw at the beginning of the video, looks very similar to a projector that I have already reviewed. Let's unbox it. But first I tell you that this video is sponsored by Go. If you pay for a streaming platform and want to have others to watch different content but you don't have enough money, switch to Go, my friend. At Go you can buy your streaming profiles, much cheaper than anywhere else. There are many platforms to choose from, it works all over the world, and with what a single streaming account costs you abroad, here you can buy up to 4 different profiles. Enter from my QR code or from the link in the description and try it, because for its price, there is nothing to lose, my friend. This is the new projector from the TouYinger brand, and it brings us very good specifications for its price. Inside the box we find its 19V and 4.7 amp voltage adapter, the power cable for the adapter, the infrared remote control, a complete guide for installation and care, and finally the projector. The H6 Pro is a vertical format LCD projector. The sides are covered in gray fabric and it looks quite cool. If we look closely, we can see its 1.5-inch glass lens, an infrared sensor and its hot air outlet. Its sides are covered in fabric and I think it's great because it doesn't slip out of your hands. Above is its power button and on the back are its voltage connections. 1 USB input, 1 HDMI input, 1 reset button, 1 infrared receiver and 1 audio output. In addition, it integrates 2 3-watt speakers and air enters through this grill to ventilate the interior. The H6 Pro is the evolution of the previous H6 model. It is very easy to manipulate with one hand and its design reminds me a lot of another projector. Just look, it's the same as the Mecool KP2 with some slight changes, at least on the outside. Inside we'll see later. The truth is that, if they are so similar, perhaps they have the same features, but I will verify that with a small versus later. Many write to me with a recommendation, but when I tell them the price of the projector they like, they want to fall on their backs. They have not yet understood that a good projector is not a cheap device. Only the Mecool KP2 costs about $350. However, the H6 Pro shares many features and similarities. Of course it is not the same, but its price makes up for it. At the end of the video there is a good comparison, so you can see whether or not it is worth buying this projector. Due to its specifications, the most notable thing is its RAM memory. It is native Full HD and has electronic focus, that is, from the remote control. The brightness is decent and the good thing is that it has all the possible corrections. Now let's look inside this projector to check its construction quality. In the same way as in the KP2, you have to test which of the two covers is the one that comes out under pressure, because one of them is screwed on, and apparently the right cover is the one chosen. From here I have a very familiar view of the construction of this projector. Once unscrewed, we can remove the left cover, and now we have access to the interior of the H6 Pro, and I see that it is not necessary to remove the electronic block to know who it closely resembles, since it is exactly the same as the KP2. We can see the location of the card, the video flag and where the LCD screen is. It has a focusing limit switch, 3 cooling heat pipes like the KP2 and the infrared sensor. While on the left side, there is the focus motor and another limit switch sensor to stop the motor, and it also has the power module for the power LED. I think I can conclude that both projectors are built by the same factory patent and from what I see, even with the same quality of materials. I remind you that we are looking at a mid-range projector, because I have also seen a high-end projector inside and the quality is completely different, but so is the price. Therefore, this new H6 Pro model could have what many are looking for, a good standard build quality, good specifications and a more reasonable cost than the KP2, but obviously less powerful. Perhaps it sacrifices some details, but maintains others such as resolution and build quality. In this version that I have here, the focus is electronic, but it is not automatic. But if there is a version like that, there is even an H6 Pro version with integrated battery. But if the KP2 and the H6 Pro are physically the same and of the same construction, why is KP2 better? What's the trick? Well, the secret is power, and just looking at the size of their voltage adapters, we can see that the KP2 is 120 watts versus the 90 watts of the H6 Pro, and that extra power makes the KP2 generate more ANSI brightness and more sound power. This is a power cut that the H6 Pro is willing to give up in exchange for a cut in the final price, because it costs 2/3 of a KP2, and this is a good way to reach another sector of users. Now let's see what the H6 Pro is capable of. The first images we see still need to be calibrated, but with some light they look good, and if we turn off the lights, that is how this projector will look best. The fluidity within the interface is fast and agile. Here in settings you have the main configuration options, such as the Wi-Fi connection, to which it connects quickly. It also has Bluetooth, an application to clean the RAM, and what should not be missing, the projection settings, and the H6 Pro integrates all the corrections. From here we can correct the image vertically, horizontally, reduce the width, reduce the height, fully zoom the image, and also 4-point keystone correction. In the dark and with a 60-inch screen, the truth is that it looks very good. The colors are very good and I like the sharpness, even with some light. I'm going to connect my old Amatic TV box that still works, because I want to project better quality images. The H6 Pro projector does not project in 4K, but it scales it well, as long as you input good quality images. My first impressions are quite good. The brightness is not maximum, but it is decent, and I note this because it does not burn the images, that is, it does not show them so overexposed. This video in particular looks decent, but there will be videos where it looks much better. For example, I usually shoot my videos in full HD and with lots of light, and look how they look on the H6 Pro. Much better, right? In addition, this projector has several image modes and several sound modes, which gives us a good margin to adjust to each person's preferences. Without playing any content, the H6 Pro is relatively quiet, only generating about 38 decibels of noise. At 40 inches from the projector and with a single frequency plane wave it reaches 85 decibels. In a real movie and at 90% volume so that it does not distort, it can generate 75 decibels on average. And with music almost 80 decibels, for a medium-sized room, it will be more than enough. By projecting a white screen and setting the H6 Pro's brightness settings to maximum, I can measure its light output with this digital lux meter. But this is not done at any distance from the projector. I normally do it 40 inches from the screen because that is where the lux is closest to the ANSI lumens, and of course with the lights off, it will be more real. By my measurement, the H6 Pro gives me about 300 lumens, and that's pretty decent brightness for its price. I will place the H6 Pro on this table so I can connect my TronSmart T7 Bluetooth speakers that I reviewed in my previous video. As you can see, the H6 Pro finds it and synchronizes it quickly, and one of them is already connected. But since they have the pairing function, both will be heard at the same time, in stereo.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way.
In its specifications, the H6 Pro indicates a maximum screen of 120 inches, but nothing prevents taking it to 150 inches as I will do. Note that first I make a larger projection, and then with the 4-point adjustment, match the corners and adjust the projection perfectly to the surface of my screen. What this H6 Pro does is very good, in good condition, right? Although it is not a high-end projector, in the dark and with a white screen, you can have a good cinema experience. Other projectors like the Mecool KP2 achieve excellent images, but the H6 Pro costs $80 less and has almost the same features as the KP2, except its brightness. If you want to use it to watch football, see how it will look. For me it looks decently good. I can even turn on the light and it also looks good, as for those who don't like to be in the dark. But I repeat, the best quality you can see on a projector depends a lot on the quality of the images. Check out these 4K insect pictures with my camera from about 17 feet. They are very good. At this distance you can't see the small errors in sharpness, and I don't think anyone will reject these images for what they are paying. Having good images, even with light they will look quite good. I achieve this quality of projection because I try to meet the two minimum requirements of any projection: a dark room and a white screen. And if I tried it with a gray screen it would be even better, although I think I won't have time for that. Presentations can also be done with the H6 Pro, if you give it certain lighting conditions, and this is a text test at 150 inches. As you can see, from 20 feet it reads well. Even from a further distance it can be read well. These are photographs of the projection with light, and without light, and these others are what the pixels look like at about 20 centimeters, something you will never see from 20 feet. I also tested it with some video games, and again you can see how well it can be enjoyed at 150 inches. Although if you use it at 120 inches as the brand recommends, you will get better performance in both brightness and sharpness. The truth is that I am very surprised with the H6 Pro. Not only because of its projection quality, but because the price could be achievable in any country, and that is why I will bring it as the first product for my online store. What do you think of the idea? A projector of this quality in my country costs about $285 since they pay a large amount of taxes, but perhaps in my future online store I could sell it for $230. The idea is to have projection options and that the cost is not so expensive that it is impossible to pay, but we'll see how I do it. And so you can see that these images are not fake or oversized. I recorded my room with my cell phone, and I think these images will also serve as a good reference of what this H6 Pro looks like in real conditions. A real and transparent comparison is always a good reference to decide or not on a product. That is why I am going to compare the H6 Pro from TouYinger with the KP2 from Mecool. I turned them on at the same time, and although the H6 Pro turned on first, you can see that the KP2 charges faster, and that already gives me an idea of its better processing. Their interfaces are different, since one is Linux and the other is Android, and that is why I will install a TV box, and the first thing I will do is measure its light output. I got about 580 lumens for the KP2 and 310 for the H6 Pro, an important difference and one that makes the Mecool KP2 cost a little more. But in a versus is where you see the true strengths and weaknesses of a device. As you can clearly see, the KP2 has more brightness. Although too much brightness could sometimes be annoying, that is also because the projected screen is small. But both projectors have image adjustments that we could move to fix this. The KP2 is superior in brightness and sound power, although that is solved with a Bluetooth speaker. But I can guarantee that both images are clear and sharp. Even when viewing them very closely, the resolution is the same. Tell me in the comments, what do you think of the H6 Pro? How do you think he does it? I don't think you wouldn't want to have one at home. Maybe it's a little less bright, but in a dark room, you won't even notice it, my friend. I liked this projector so much that I am seriously considering bringing the first units for my future store, because I think it is the perfect balance between quality and cost. If you can't afford the KP2, this could be your projector. Of course you have to forgive him that it has a little less brightness, just as he forgives you by discounting you by $80 less. But the quality and sharpness is the same, friend, because the full HD format is universal. 1920 by 1080 pixels, so you will see very good. Thanks for getting here. What are you waiting for to subscribe or become a member, my friend? Every month, I do giveaways among the subscribers and members of this channel, and in my next video I will announce the September winners, who will win 2 Blitzwolf projectors. Help me, and let's democratize technology. Until the next video.